Hi there. So today we are looking at our new SharePoint system. Okay, so if you were to go into your SharePoint system, you would see in your Explorer pad. Right now, I'm in my Mac, so you'll see either the Finder, which is in Mac, or you'll be looking at an Explorer folder. So you open it up, and you can see everything that's in your on your computer. This AllumeCares.com represents the SharePoint shared drive. So you can get into that, and you're going to be looking for here. I have lots of different access points, and so maybe you only have one folder here, but I have a few. So you're looking for the Allume team folder, and inside here you will find a listing of all the different folders that we have. So when you look at this listing, you can look at it in different ways. You can show it up here. You can have a list where it just shows the full list of all the different folders. And you can shrink them up or put them down. You can show them this way. There's different ways to look at it so that you can divide up and look at the data and see what folders there are. So if you want to think of this list, of this team folder, of all these different things that we have in here, it's kind of like if you were making a binder and you wanted multiple sections in the binder, then these would be the sections, right? And then inside the sections, you might have subsections. So that's how you want to think about this. So in the main shared area, we have the tracking spreadsheets. And of course, you know, we carry lots of different tracking spreadsheets in here. We look at all different kinds of pieces in here. So these are where you find the continuous care tracking. There's all different kinds of trackers in here. We use these regularly, and we put them all in one place so that we're all able to find them easily. So that's the tracker folder. Admin, I'm going to come into it in a little more detail in a little bit, but admin is a great folder for you to know about because it has in it some templates that I want to make sure you know about. There's the basic Allume document template. So anytime you're going to create a Word document, you should start by opening this document and then save as whatever you want to, whatever the document is that you're saving. Let's say you're making a QWOPI document, then you would save it as and save it to the QWOPI folder and rename the file accordingly. But you would start with this document because inside of it, it contains all of the Allume fonts and colors, etc., already set up for you. So you start out with that, and then you can create a document just like you would normally, but you start with the template. There's also some the organizational chart template. There's PowerPoint templates in here. There's the Allume PowerPoint templates. There's two different ones in here. Anytime you're going to have a PowerPoint, you should always start with the Allume PowerPoint template, and again, save it as and save it to the folder that it belongs in, and rename it whatever the name of the folder is. This Allume PowerPoint infographics, arrows, this has a whole bunch of different shapes and stuff in it, so check it out. There's several other things in here that you can also find, but I'm going to, in the next video, talk to you about the one specific folder or document you should really know about, and it's this Allume basic template document. So we'll come back to it. You'll also see the other topics, the big topics of what our business is about are in these folders. Whenever we find a folder, something like this, a document that's sort of outside of one of the main folders in this main directory folder, it means that it was probably pasted there inadvertently, and it probably should go somewhere else. So Christine and Taylor will be kind of keeping an eye on it and helping people move things in the right places. But just know that you want to make sure that you're not putting any documents directly into the shared folder. It should go somewhere into one of these folders. So we have admin, we have Allume Community Cares, and that's our community service piece that we haven't done a whole lot with. We've done a couple of things. Right now, the big thing we're focused on is the Patient Enrichment Fund. the next one is areas of curated focus. So we haven't done a lot with this. This is the intention here is to, as we build knowledge and intellectual property around different areas of focus, we would put those learnings or data into this folder. The authorization process, so this is where authorization data goes. CAC, anything related to CAC goes here. So you can see anything that we've done in relation to CAC would go here, including training. If we go to any of the conferences, DPH Day, Government Relations Committee, it's all here. We have our client patient satisfaction area here. All of our contracts are here. And again, it should be that in this folder, there should be there should be no documents here. There should only be more folders, and each folder represents the company or vendor that we have a relationship with in a contract. And then inside the folder is where any contracts would actually go. Dashboards. Dashboards is important. Okay, so this one is, we have two different kinds of dashboards that we do. We do the monthly, and then we do the weekly. So you'll see the monthly one is here, and it's organized. Notice the naming convention, right? It starts out with the year with a dash plus 05 plus a dash, May dashboard. The reason we do this is so that they all line up in this folder chronologically. So if you started with 05, 17, then you would have all of your Mays together, so May 2017, 2018, 2019 would be together. If you labeled them or started to name them starting with May, M, then it wouldn't be in chronological order, right? Because April comes, A would be April, January, which is their first month, would come somewhere later. So you want to think about when you're naming your folders or you're naming your documents, you want to think about how you would like to see them appear in the actual folder where they're going to live, and what order you would want them to be in, and make sure you name them in a way that you will see them in a consistent way. So that's why this particular way of doing it keeps everything in order. So 2000, you start with the year, then you go to the month, 2-digit month, right? 2017, 05. And then I like to have the name of the dashboard. You could just say 05 dashboard too. That would be fine. And then everything would be in order. If it was down to the day, like you had, you needed a folder for each day, you'd have the year, then you'd have the month, and then you'd have the day. And then the folders would appear in precisely the order that you want. So inside of our monthly dashboard meetings, you'll see there's a consistent architecture of what we do, right? So we have in here the dashboard itself, and then we have a file for all the reports. And so every time you participate in the dashboard, you're going to be updating the dashboard PowerPoint document that lives inside the appropriate folder. And any reports that you're going to bring along, you want to make a copy of those reports and put them into the reports folder, and that way we have a record of it. And then normally what happens is Lynn does the minutes. She hasn't done them for March yet because we just had it, but normally she would put the minutes in there too. So she'll save those minutes and put them right in here. So we'll have minutes in here, we'll have the dashboard document, PowerPoint, and then all the reports or any attachments that we might have reviewed. So that it's all very neat and it's consistent. So if we go back here now, when we look at the weekly dashboard, this one we have. So you'll see it's by year again, and then 1, 2, 3, and that's how we do it. And so we're going to be moving into April soon, so we'll need a new dashboard that represents that new document. So Marie is in charge of this one, and she will save this. She'll open this document and she'll do a save as, and I'll show you right now how to do it. So she'll have it. So she'll open the document, and so here it is, and she'll do file, and she'll do save a copy. And she's going to want to put it in the right place, right? So this has got to go into the dashboards. Weekly dashboards. And we're going to name it correctly, right? So it's 2019. It's going to be 04 is the month. April. Weekly dashboard, right? So now we're going to save it. Okay, and we're going to make sure to change the name on here to April. We're going to do a save, file save. And that way, you know, now it's updated. All right, so we'll go back now to the Finder. So that's where we have some of the dashboard pieces, you know, just for you to know about. Direct Care Operations has a bunch of stuff in it, has a bunch of forms related to, you know, our direct care operations. Operations planning, this is where we have our standard operating procedures listed. Very important for all the different things, you know, our process maps. If you want to know the correct process for the company operations, it's this document right here. It's Operations SOP. Okay, this document is a important document for everybody who's in the office to know about. Operations SOPs. If you haven't got a copy of it, probably should get one. Let's see if I can get this baby to move over. Hold on. I'm on my Mac, which is a little slow and finicky. So I'm going to move it over here so you can see it. All right, so this document has all of the different steps involved in our company, from inquiry, scheduling, insurance verification, start of care. If you're involved, Oasis transmission, visits and documentation, case manager reference binder, supervisions, readmissions, research, significant changes in condition, discharge, death at home, transfers, audit. This document has a total end-to-end what it is our processes are. And we went through and did a detailed dive. Here's the summary of it. And then we went in detail and looked at every single part of the process and mapped it out. So this document should be, if you don't have a copy and you're part of the office, you should probably get a copy. Lynn can print you up and put it in a binder for you if you ask her nicely. And you should be referring to it, right? And if it needs correcting, then you know where the document is. It's right here, right? We just showed you. It's right here in operations planning, which lives inside direct care operations, right? So this is an important document to know about. Behavior contracts, case manager binder, all the pieces of the case manager binder live here. Client and patient intake, those forms are in here. Compliance related items, which doesn't appear like it's being used very much. So Marie might want to take a look at that to see what's supposed to be in there. All the continuous care forms. Okay, so all of our forms that we use in the field. This actually is supposed to be over in contracts, so I wonder if it'll let me move it. It's very particular, this new system, I find. So I don't think it's going to let me, but that's where that belongs. And then Exact Hires software contracts. So it looks like maybe some things got accidentally moved around. For sure. So as you're going through and you find this stuff, it's probably a good idea to let Christine know, or for us to just go ahead and know about it so we can move stuff. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of stuff that's been moved. Oh, I guess because we're in the wrong place. Sorry, direct care operations. I was in the wrong place. So here's this one though is in the wrong place. Emergency preparedness planning. So this everything that's related to emergency preparedness should be in here. If we were to do a flu clinic here, this is the home health competency assessment provider contract. This we had before when we were not able to do our own home health competencies. The home health aid competency format is here. IDT process, infusion services, bioscript. So again, this is another one that should be moved over to contracts. Med forms. This is the med forms itself. You can get rid of this, I would think. So you'll just kind of go through these and start to see, direct care operations. This is probably the business of Marie and Amy to start to go through and make sure things are correct in there. The next here is the financials document, or financials place, where there's bits on accounts payable, AR, billing, deposits, intact, anything related to finance should be in here. General office forms, these are other things that are used by Taylor and Lynn and Christine. Governing authority, again, there's a very specific structure in here for the governing authority. All of our meetings are in here. Our members, all of our members have a folder. All of our meetings are organized accordingly. Each meeting has all the presentation, the items that needed to be approved, the minutes, and any other documents all included. So you can be very organized and repetitive in the way you do it, so that way your team members know what you're doing and what's where. So gratitude closet here, I think this is something that Lynn works with. We're no longer doing the daily huddle, so we could probably get this out. HR, this is the HR folder, lots in here. Legal agreements, licensing and accreditation. So this is an important folder. This one is where we put anything related to Medicare, Medicaid. We have our CLIA here. This folder has all of the regs and standards, COPs listed, just for easy find for you. Department of Public Health, in here we've got the CT home health license, we've got the CT regs and attestation, we've got our original Medicaid enrollment, we've got all the notifications that we've done to DPH. So when we change ownership or administrator or anything like that, we have to notify the DPH, change of address. Our surveys are in here. So our initial licensure survey goes here, and then there's the state survey that we had in March, right here. Our waivers as well are all here. So anything related to the Department of Public Health goes right into this folder, which sits in licensing and accreditation. DSS, here's our DSS enrollment pieces. This is our surety bond related to the homemaker companion license that actually is associated with this agency, but we don't really use it. Here's our Medicare related items. So all of that's there, including ACHC, which is our accrediting body. So we have a lot of stuff in here for ACHC. All of it will be right in here. So anything related to Medicare, ACHC, it should all go in here. Here's our Medicare 855A additions and changes are here. So we have to notify, for example, the DPH and Medicare and ACHC. So this is how we're showing in different places that we've done that. Our cost reports are here. Our original Medicare enrollment is in here. Oasis and PICOS. So all of that is here. I'll also point you to the survey guide, which we didn't really follow, but we really should, coming up with future DPH surveys, along with, we'll have another ACHC survey coming up here in the next 6 months. We have here MAR reports. Not real sure why they're here, but we can talk about that. I'd love to talk to quality assurance for why they're here. If it's best to have them separately or if they should be in the patient folder. This is a place I put market research. Marketing folder has all different kinds of pieces in it. Ads, our book club bits, our brochures and flyers, contact lists, culture book, headshots, all kinds of stuff is in marketing. Oasis, so this is where the Oasis transmission files go. The PAC, so we have, just like for the GA, we have a folder for the PAC. Here's where we have all of our patients, and I encourage you all in medical records, Kyle and Kelly and Marie, to take a look at this, because you really could make a nice way to have each of these have, a clear structure of what goes in each one. And probably you would want to have no open files sitting in this patient folder. It should be divided up into different topics. And so it could be authorizations, care plans, MARs, TARs, orders, etc. And any other documentation should be in a folder so you can find it. And then ideally it should be labeled in such a way that the dates, you see it in the correct dates. So that's something to work on for sure, is to figure out so every single patient folder has the same 10 folders inside of it. And then every time you need to save it, you have a place to save it, and you have a way to save it with the correct file naming conventions so that it'll appear in the folder in order of chronology or whatever order it is that you want to see it. That's the patients. Payer sources. So again, you can see who our payer sources are beyond Medicare and Medicaid. And ideally, you want to start to come up with folders that would go into each one of these, right? So, for example, you might want to have initial application folder, and you might want to have a contract folder, and then you might want to have any other kind of operating folder for each one for anything that's going on with them specifically. Here's our policies and procedures, and you'll notice in the policies and procedures folder that we have old versions. So every time we update and have a new version that we've approved with the GA, then we save a copy of it so we have it. But then we identified, okay, now these are our newly accepted and approved versions. And so this is where the current version is. And so all of the current ones are listed here. Again, there really shouldn't be any documents floating around in here, and these documents shouldn't be in here either. So there's some cleanup certainly to do in here, but that's where the policies and procedures are. QAPI, again, to have a list in here of very clear what are all the different topics for QAPI, including performance improvements, and then having folders inside each one that represent the meetings, for example, that would happen, the various incidents or whatever that could be, how you want to label them. Is it by a particular type, or does you need to come up with some naming conventions so that it's listed by date, perhaps? Each PIP, right, might need its own folder. Quality record review probably needs its own folder. So here's the record review, and then to have them organized, we started it looks like 2018, and again you want it to be in order. So that's why it's a perfect example of why you want to put 2017 first, because otherwise they're not in order. If you put 2017 first, all the 2017s will come first, and then the 2018s, etc. And then you shouldn't have any items that are hanging out here. They go somewhere. Like this goes in the quarter 3. 2018, so 2003 there isn't one, so somebody needs to create a folder that says 2018 Q3 record review, and this should go in it along with this and this and this, and then there's probably a place in here you'd want to put the 120-day review, etc. So you use these folders as a way to stay organized. They help you know what you need to get done and what should go in what needs to happen over time. Real estate, here's where our leases are. Here's where we've organized our referral sources. This is where referrals in progress are located. Here we've got a couple of folders that look like they probably belong in. These are risk management, belong into a risk management folder somewhere. This is stuff that was related when we started the company. This is all of our strategy bits, so our strategic planning. So every time we have a meeting, we put it in here. Again, we have a TAR folder here. We have a MAR folder here. To me, I think they probably should belong inside of the patient folders themselves. So I would definitely say Marie and Kelly and probably Kyle need to do some work around that. Technology, this is where all of our different technology sits, information about that. And here's our training folder, all the different training programs that we offer. So if you are making a training program, you need to create a folder for it, and then inside the folder is where you would put the files related to it. So for example, if you're going to do a training on how to record videos, you create a folder first called how to record videos, and then you create the video and you put it here, right? And that's where it lives. For the Innovation Roundtable, it was a training we did, and so all of the files related to the Innovation Roundtable are located here. You've got the PowerPoint, you have all of the related documents that we used on that event are all right here. So that's how you use that part. So this is an introduction to how to use the different folders that live inside SharePoint. So please see me if you have questions about it, and so that we can get on the same page and start using it more efficiently. Thanks.